Hi, everybody. This is Kathy with More Fun with Felt. And today I thought I would give you a studio tour. This is when I'm being creative, where all the felting magic happens. Here's just a little overview. I recently was gifted all these beautiful shelves by my husband. So he helped get me a little bit more organized. I share my studio with my two guinea pigs. This is Lou and Loki. I don't know if you can see in there, Loki. And then Luca, my bunny, way over there. Right there. He's a little Netherland dwarf. He has this whole area. So definitely when I say share, I mean share. He takes up probably a little more than half. But that's okay. He's allowed to be spoiled. See if I can get a better shot of him for you. He's so cute. He's my support animal and has gotten me through some sad times. So just to go over my studio and let you know kind of where everything is and how I organize things. First of all, I have these two armoires. They were just passed down to us by my parents, and I used to store my clothes in them, but now I store felting supplies. Primarily in these two, I have trade show supplies. You kind of see, this is just all the stuff that I have to take to the trade show. When I go, it's not super beautiful, so it's a good thing to put behind closed doors. On the top, I have my tent and my big sign, and then there's trade show things in that armoire over there as well. And then on the top of that armoire, I have some of the items that I don't use that often, but I still need to keep. So on the right side is my foam, and I use that for building up some of my 3D sculptures, especially if they're bigger. And then on the left are bases. And that whole box is just full of anything that I think could be a good base for any kind of a felting project in the future. So I don't go to those daily. I was able to tuck them away up there. There's Luca running around. What a baby. So here I have, for storage of wool, I have this really good little organizer that I got at Walmart. And I just basically put my wool in there, and looks like I'm running out of some, so I probably need to replace a little bit. And then I have more trade show things down here, and then also under here. Trade show's a big deal. I bring quite a bit. We fill up a whole 10 by 10 tent. So you need a lot of, shelving and stuff to set up. So that takes up a lot of space, but it's just not pretty to look at. So I cover it up. All right. And then as far as wool and tools go, this shelf is primarily wool and tools. At the top is my locks and any kind of specialty, and that is right here. And then I have armatures right here, and that's basically just pre-made armatures that when I have an hour or so, I'll sit down and just make bodies of people and animals and throw them in there. So whenever I need one quickly, I can just grab it. In this box, I have my clay and my eyes. I do the same thing with my eyes. I make them up ahead of time. You can see some examples here. This eye was made ahead of time and just happened to be the perfect fit. And also this little girl, same thing, if you can see that. Her eye as well. So those are just an example. If you want to learn how to do that, I do have a how to make cabochon eyes video. You can just go find it in my playlist. And then after that, I start into my colors of wool. So I have, I've divided up whites and off-whites, red, yellow, orange, grays, blues, and greens, purples and pinks. And then down here, I have core wool, brown and black. And then this is my wool bits. Basically, nothing is wasted. It's the best way to put that. So anything that when I'm done with the project, I have scraps, I throw it in here. And then my rule is before I buy something new, I look in my wool bits and see if I can, make it with, because sometimes you just need a pinch of something. So I'll put it in here. And then this one is, I call it the Land of the Misfits. And this is just all of my little projects that I've started and not finished. And there's just tons of stuff in here that you can see. That's a really good idea for when you need something quickly. Somebody may order something or you're going to a trade show and you don't think you have enough pieces. You can pull out your box of unfinished pieces and quickly pop out, 5 or 10. So that's what I use it for. Sometimes I just don't have any inspiration and I'll dig through the box. Just kind of a little bit of everything, but I don't like to waste things, so I just throw them in there. Down here, I have some wet felting supplies that I don't need to keep out constantly. And then down here is my filming supplies that I don't need constantly. This right here is my wool that I'm currently working with. So you'll see a lot of the colors that we just talked about, but it's in this little portable, this used to be a quilt holder, I think. And it's just easy to throw right here. And when I need a color quickly, I can just pull it out. So that's the storage of all of my wool. This shelf is my little oven. Nothing fancy, got from Goodwill. And it was like $10, and I do my clay in here. Here's an example of some of the things that I make with clay. You can see all of her little spikes and the end of her tail, and then like his horns, his teeth, her teeth. So that's kind of what I do with clay. If I need a specific thing, I will make it like something I can't find, or if it needs to fit onto a toe or something like that, I will use that. And it's only for clay. I don't use it for food at all. This is my to-go bag. It's got everything that you would need. Its own set of needles, its own felting pad, colors, some of my favorite colors. And if I'm leaving and I know I'm going to be like in a doctor's office for a long time, I'll grab it and just take it with me. These are just some heads because I am going to make a hat someday. These are my extra wool balls. Whoop. Lost a man. These are my wool balls. And this I use for proportions because I'm really bad at proportions. I use this and it helps me when I'm making people or Bigfoot, anything like that. Down here are my daily tools. They're kind of a little bit of a gobbled mess right now, but you can see I have my hand carders, needles, some of my chalk for coloring, makeup, just all kinds of things. This is like a glitter, my swax, which is just a wax that you melt for specific projects, some scissors, metal tools, paintbrushes, clay tools here. And these are all my paints and glues over here. Some extra needles and needle toppers in here. So that's pretty much what that is. And here is where I do the majority of my work, just when I'm sitting and relaxing. So this is not filming or anything. This is just my free time and more of my favorite tools. I'm sure you've seen this one on a few videos. Never know when you're going to find another not finished project. Can't wait to finish her, actually. She's going to be lots of fun. This is where I keep my wires and my ribbons, and again, more felting needles. One of my favorite pads that I use. These are 2 projects that I'm currently working on. Turn the light on here. So this is Bigfoot. He's supposed to look like this eventually. So I had to stop him. A lot of you know that I lost my mom back in March. I was kind of right in the middle of making him, and we just had a lot going on. And we are now in September. I haven't filmed in a few months. We just laid her to rest in August, and it's really, to be quite honest, just kind of kicked me in the butt a little. I explained to a good felting friend of mine, Dawn. She reached out to me from Chicken Run Creations, and I just kind of explained to her that I was almost like paralyzed. It's just kind of how I felt, and she, just by reaching out to me, helped me to realize I needed to maybe get off the couch and do some things. And so that's why I'm coming back today. But I had to stop him, so I'm hoping to be able to pick him back up and get him finished by the end of October. This is another little project that I'm working on. It's going to be for my sister, and each one of these little birdies is going to represent one of her grandkids. There is a story behind this as well, and I am planning on filming. I'm going to do several more birds, and then I'm going to film like the last 6, maybe 4 birds, depending on the timing. So, but I'm going to teach you guys how to do this and show you the reason behind everything. So this is where all that felting is. Have some more wool down here that needs to just go back. My sewing machine right there. And then this is my wet felting space. You can see just, the olive oil soap and all my tools here. And right behind this door is a sink that gets very hot water. This table is a good height. It's counter height, but the problem with it is it's real shaky. You can see, not good. Not good for wet felting. So I'm in the process of trying to find another table. Yeah, so down here I have some extra material. It's actually a flooring material, and I use it as a resist for wet felting purses and such. And then over here is where I do my filming. One of the problems that we had in this room is it's very dark, generally. And I literally, when I would film, see these lights here? I would have these 2 lights on, about 3 of these, and then my filming light, which is right here. And my husband installed 2 of these task lights for me. They're amazing. Like right now, I don't even have any other light on besides those task lights, and it's so bright in here. So this is where I do the majority of my filming, also where I do my editing. This will be my next 2 videos coming up. This is the 2D picture kit that Heidi Feathers blessed me with, basically, to do a review. I have done several pictures now, and am going to be able to get a good review of this soon. That'll be my next one. Here's one of the most recent pictures. Or actually, that was the first one I did. But I'm definitely going to go over this with you and let you know what I think of the kit and pros and cons and such. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be my very next video. And then after that, the video after that is going to be my review on their amazing mammoth mat, which, to be honest, I haven't used yet just because of everything that's been happening. But I'm going to be using that this week and checking it out and just kind of seeing what I think about it. And then I will give you my honest review. Over here, up here, I'm sorry for the mess. That is kits for sale. And they're all made up, and I just had to kind of pop them up there without a ladder. So they're a little bit disorganized. Here is 3D models of dinosaurs and dragons. I like to use the 3D models to make my structures, and it's just super helpful. Here's a good example of if you go to Hobby Lobby and you get a wood model, you can draw your armature right on there, and then that helps you measure the wire and also know where your armature is going to need to be. Helps you stay true to size. So I drew that, and then I made this. Gives you an idea of kind of how I use that. And of course, you can't see this dinosaur without his special effects. He's probably one of my favorite things. Over here, I have accessories and props that I use, like little shovels, guns, chairs, that kind of thing. Anything that I need to make something look a little more realistic. Here's a great example, like what might be in that box. Little instruments, little things like candelabras and stuff like that. So I love to tell a story, and props help me with that. And then I have my extra little puff balls in here. This is a kit just for needles. These are some of my better needles, and I just don't want them getting broken, and I don't want to mix in with everything. So, and also when I travel, it keeps them very safe. If I'm on the road, I can throw this in my travel kit if I'm going to stay somewhere a long time. This is my cookie cutters. I used to use them a lot when I was much more new at felting, but now I don't use them that often. Hot glue gun, mini iron. I use this in specific situations when I'm trying to get a wrinkle out or smooth something really, really well. And really, that's just about it. I have my felting books down here, you can see, and they're very helpful. I've looked through each and every one and made stuff out of everything. And that is about it. The last thing I think to show you is just some of the creations that I store. So this wall I kind of use just for, my projects that I've made. These two shelves are probably my favorite. This is my very first dragon that I ever did. I love him. And then I do make these baby dragons and sell them. And she is just so much fun. One of my plans is to show you guys how I make her and break it up, because if I were to do one video on this dragon, it would be about 24 hours. So it's going to be a long process to kind of show you how I do everything, but I think it would be worth it for you guys to know step by step. So I might break it down into the eyes and the belly and the wings and such, so you can see. This is one of my favorite pieces. This little donkey. I made her, this is a Serafina fiber art tutorial, and I made her, and she never sold. She was just plain. She never sold at a trade show. And then I made this fairy. She never sold at a trade show. And one day I just decided to dress the donkey up and put the fairy on the donkey. She's standing, you can see. She's standing on the back. And I fell in love with her, and I was like, you know what? She's going to stay with me forever. So that is, I don't even know, like, don't have a name for her. Maybe Zoe. But the donkey's name is Phoebe. You've probably seen this video, my silly frogs. So these my mother drew, and then I brought them to life with felt. This is Zenora. She's one of my favorite little creatures. She's got about 10 different animals in her makeup. And then I have Nessie, and she's a lot of fun because she's in this little tray. And so the tray is her environment, and you can see that the fisherman is missing. And so I named this piece, Where's the Fisherman? And that is just up to your imagination where he went. And there's Chip the Christmas mouse, only he's not Christmassy. I'm sure you've seen all of these. And then these are all my tutorials. My bunny tutorial, she's probably my most popular, besides Chip, one of my most popular tutorials. This is my little pom-pom babies tutorial. So there's a lot of these guys up here are already tutorials. They're waiting for you in my playlist, and you can feel free to go check them out. So yeah, this is pretty much the rest of it. That's all I have for you, but just wanted to share this with you and kind of let you see where the magic happens, and where I spend a lot of my time, and where I just get a little bit of a release. And of course, there's the baby. Best way to end this. I hope you guys visit my Facebook page. It's More Fun with Felt with spaces in between. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and I will be very, very happy to get back to you. I will get right back to you as soon as I see your comment. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thanks for visiting me, and I'll see you in the next video.